and then we'll get our YouTube joined as well. So
2 minutes. All right, we're live. All right, well, welcome everybody on YouTube. Welcome everybody that is on Instagram. Tonight is a special night because we finally have Natasha back in front of a camera. We shot a lot of videos for several months and we got a lot of requests for Natasha to come back on. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tonight we're going to be discussing how Natasha travels so much with her career while she's battling Hashimoto's disease. For those that do not know what our background is, we were living in Southern California. Our home had toxic black mold in it. Natasha started getting very sick. She was having chronic Epstein-Barr virus flare-ups. We lost our 2 dogs because of it. I struggled as well with my health. So tonight's really about the members' questions that you are submitting to us on social media. And Natasha's going to answer those as an autoimmune patient, as a Hashimoto's patient, as somebody that's still going through a black mold detox protocol. She really just finished up a Candida protocol as well. So if we have time, we'll touch upon that. So we're going to keep it around 45 minutes tonight. This will be recorded so everybody can watch it post live. So Natasha, you want to get started? Do you want me to get started? You tell me.
Sure. What's the first question? Who was that?
Well, let's start with you tell everybody a little bit about what you've been going through.
Well, first I'll explain to you what my career is, and then we'll go through that. So because I think one of the first questions was just how I deal with Hashimoto's and mold toxicity and balancing a career. So in my career, I'm a clinical specialist / medical sales person, and I travel a ton. So I'm in multiple cities, multiple flights, multiple hotels, car rentals, all of the above. So I am in and out of the house, and even when I'm home locally, I am living out of my car. So while battling Hashimoto's, it is not easy having this career. And some of the things that I have dealt with and battling now, I would say that the first and foremost, most important thing is just planning ahead.
Well, let's back up because she was fortunate enough to where she actually almost took 4 months off. So her job loves her so much, her company loves her so much, I should say, that they gave her almost 4 months off. So we know that not everybody can take that much time off from their careers, but we thought it was important for Natasha because we were seeing a mold specialist. She was getting IV infusions, ozone therapy. She was doing that multiple times during the week.
That was when I was off for the 4 months.
Yeah, so there was no way for her to travel and still get all of these IVs and injections and do her coffee enemas, do her sauna therapy the way that it's intended to. So she took that time off. She got to the point where she could get back to traveling again with work.
So wait, before I got to the 4 months off, what it came to and why we decided I need to take a leave of absence from work. That was a really big decision for the both of us, for me to take a leave. I was working so much and traveling so much that I was traveling and working and just coming home and laying in bed every single moment I was home. So to us, it was not a lifestyle that I could maintain, and I had to make that decision. You know, health comes first. You only get one health. You have to take care of it. And I am a big preacher of that, and I was not listening to what I used to preach, and I finally did, honor that and took care of my health, and now I am back working, and I'm very happy, but it's not easy. So I'm still dealing with a lot of things, but we're getting there for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Natasha's 100%, but she's definitely a lot better than she was a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
She had a little setback in December when we were traveling, but essentially she got blood poisoning due to an IV infusion and ended up in the oncology department for almost 2 weeks in Boulder Hospital in Colorado. So that was
I had a nice view.
Yeah, she had a mountain view. She actually had her own room. Being in the oncology department, she had a fantastic view, but it wasn't the view that we really wanted.
Yeah.
So that was a setback for her. So we'll talk a little bit about her setbacks, but go ahead and just kind of explain what your normal day-to-day is like as a clinical specialist.
Every day is different. There's no office that I go into and I work 8 to 5. It's, one day I wake up at 5, get on a plane, and then go to some other city, and then maybe I'm in the OR for 8 hours, and then maybe I'm following meetings in the evening at dinner, entertaining doctors, and then the next day is every day is different. So I'm on several, for instance, last week I was on 6 different flights. I was in 3 or 4 different cities, and I get lost on where I am throughout the week. But
so we had a question from a member, from Kim Campbell. She was wanting to know, because she has a daughter that has Hashimoto's, and how you manage your career. Mm-hmm. So let's start off by explaining the steps that you take to help you when you're out there on the road.
Okay. So the steps that I take that will help me on the road, number one is just planning ahead. Planning ahead is the first thing that keeps me from getting setbacks. Setbacks for me are bad days. And planning ahead, the first thing is just food prep, prepping our food. He's really good at helping me prep my food, but just making sure you have food available. I mean, I have a lot of food restrictions, so I can't go to I can't go to all the restaurants or all the, fast food places. It's just non-existent in my life. So having food available to me that's easy to grab helps me from having those setbacks.
One thing that Natasha does a lot is Instacart. So it depends on where you're living, but if you have access to Instacart, this is something that we were talking about earlier, because a lot of times when she lands in Austin, she'll message me as soon as she lands, and she goes, "Hey, I've already ordered Instacart." So what that means is
someone's going to be knocking at the door.
Yeah, someone's going to be knocking at the door. I'm working during the day. I don't have to take time off to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So Instacart is fantastic for us.
It saved us a lot.
So when she flies in back home, she'll typically order Instacart when she lands, so that way the groceries are delivered and I can start going and preparing dinner, so that when she gets home, we can go ahead and start eating. Because I know traveling for a long period of time during the day, the last thing you want to do is have to worry about food, and you typically get really hungry and angry when you're traveling. So Natasha can come home, she can have a decent dinner. But this is also something I think would work really well when you're checking into hotels. So
I've done it a few times. Actually, sometimes I'll get into a hotel that's when it's pretty late, and the food that's available on the late night menu is not really something that I can eat. So Whole Foods is open until 10, I think, wherever I was, and I was able to order Instacart, and you just put your room number and they bring it straight to your room, and there you go. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I make sure that I have a little kitchenette so that if there is something that I need to cook, that I can cook it really quick. But there's some easy ways where you don't have to always purchase things to actually cook. But it makes life so much easier having Instacart, for sure. It has saved me quite a bit. Another thing that I use and that I have recently started using in the past month, it is called Daily Harvest. And Daily Harvest is more of it comes to you in a box, and there's these little containers, and everything is frozen. And there's soups, there's bowls, there's, what else is there? Soups, bowls. Smoothies, just easy grab and goes. So even when I'm at home, I'm able to use Daily Harvest. But also, it's great when I'm traveling because it's already frozen. And especially the soups, all you have to do is add either water or bone broth. And I can just throw those little containers in a little cooler and put it in my suitcase. And then by the time I get to my hotel, it has defrosted enough where it's easy to make in a hotel stove. So that has been very helpful.
Yeah, so the Daily Harvest has actually been great, especially we were both going through the Candida protocol, and it was fantastic as far as a soup goes, because when you're eating on the Candida protocol, there's not a whole heck of a lot that you can eat. So these were fantastic using bone broth that we purchased from Kettle and Fire. That is where we are ordering our bone broth from. And using that with the soups has been a lifesaver. But they also have a very good cacao and avocado smoothie. That is my favorite. I had it today running.
My favorite is the coconut chai smoothie. And they don't have a lot of protein, so I just add protein powder to it when I make the smoothies, just to be able to have a little bit of that. But the smoothies
take the dates out.
And I take the dates out because I don't do sugar. And the other great thing, it's all organic, and like the smoothies aren't all fruit. Like the chai coconut one that I love, I think it's zucchini, cauliflower, and chai, and vegetables and coconut. So it's amazing. So yeah, Daily Harvest really makes my life a little bit easier as well. What else? Oh, a Yeti cooler. So especially here in Texas, in these hot summers, a Yeti cooler to keep in my car is a lifesaver. So whenever I'm able to grab lunches, or if I'm in between accounts, I at least keep snacks in my car easy to grab. I mean, the goal for me is to keep life consistent, whether I'm on the road or home. So having a cooler in my car, or having a cooler in my little rollaway when I'm getting on the plane, anything to keep things consistent. As long as I have food with me, that's the most important part. Because sometimes I can get stuck in scenarios where all there is fried food, and that week won't be a good week. But
all right, so I'm answering some questions for the YouTube viewers. So Monica was asking about taking charcoal with her to Peru. So Monica, very jealous that you're going to Peru. Hopefully you're going to Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Our trip there last year got canceled, unfortunately, at the last minute. So
health reasons.
Yeah, health reasons, dog health reasons, actually. That was Titan's neck.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have fun in Peru. But yes, the green tea that I mentioned from Premier Research Labs is fantastic for drinking pre and post flight to help with the radiation. And you only use a couple teaspoons of that, and it's fantastic. I believe they also make a 2-ounce bottle, and they have an 8-ounce bottle. So if you get the 8-ounce bottle, you can put it in your check-in. If you have the 2-ounce, you can carry it on.
So on that, I actually bought these little containers, and because it's not easy to travel with the glass. And so I bought these little, I have them in here somewhere, the little stainless steel containers. It's like almost like a small hydro flask that I took all of the either liver ND or the green tea, and I put that in there so it's easier to travel with. So that's a good, easy tip.
She was just trying to avoid plastics, is what
glass.
Or glass, or what she was trying to avoid with that.
Because you don't want to put that stuff in a plastic container.
Yeah. Okay. So Tasha mentioned the Yeti cooler. She mentioned the Daily Harvest. What are some other tips when you're traveling?
Traveling. So another thing that I do is I research. So say I'm going somewhere, and most of the places that I'm going now I've already been, but let's say I'm going somewhere new that I haven't been. I research the airports. What is there in the airports? Is there, we have Juiceland in our airport in Austin, which is great because I can get my greens juice if I'm running late in the morning, or a smoothie or something. That's like my Starbucks. I research what's in the airports. What food is available in the airports? Is there a restaurant that I can grab something to eat? Hotels. I research the hotels. Do they have kitchenettes? Are there nice, I try to pick nicer hotels that have bathtubs, and because I do my Epsom salt baths, I still need to be consistent with the detoxing, and I can't do all of the coffee enemas and the saunas and all of that while traveling, so the Epsom salt bath is my secondary choice. And restaurants. What restaurants are around? Are there restaurants that I'm able to eat? And the most importantly, I don't always eat at restaurants. I actually try to eat at like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's, just grab something easy that way. So if there's not a Whole Foods around, is there a Trader Joe's? Okay, if there's not either of those two, is there a Sprouts? What's around? I just try to plan out my trip so I don't fail. So I eliminate any setbacks. Again, it sounds silly, but I think my health revolves around food for the most part.
Yeah, if you're dealing with an autoimmune condition, you're probably in the same boat. I know some of you may not travel for work like Natasha does, but I'm sure that you travel on vacation. So just 2 weeks ago, I took a road trip to Boulder, Colorado. And so what did I do the night before was I was chopping up zucchini. I was chopping up cucumbers. I made some fantastic guacamole. I make the best guacamole in the family. And so I put that into the Yeti cooler. So that's what I was snacking on when I was driving. The other thing that you can do is if you know where you're traveling and you know approximately where you're going to be filling up with gas, go ahead and start Yelping the grocery stores that are around that area. Because like Natasha said, a lot of times she eats at Whole Foods and you can get free Wi-Fi at Whole Foods. So if you got to do work,
I do a lot of work there.
Go to Whole Foods and log on to their free Wi-Fi. But she does a lot of eating at the grocery stores. And when I was driving to Boulder, there's in Amarillo, we would always stay at the same hotel because it's a newer built hotel. We're very concerned about mold.
That's another reason why I researched hotels is I always pick the newest built hotel because if I'm exposed to mold or if I'm exposed to it at all, sometimes I can have a setback and it can be a bad day the next day or a few days later.
So we tend to stay in the same hotel in Amarillo. So when I was going there, I knew that's where I was going to stop. So I just Yelped the grocery stores that were around there. And they didn't have Whole Foods, but they did have Growers Direct.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah, they actually had everything that our Whole Foods normally carries.
Yeah.
I've never really gone into a Growers Direct. We just kind of thought like, but they actually were fantastic. They had the gluten-free granola. So anyhow, so Yelp the grocery stores when you're getting gas because you may be in a podunk town like a lot of times Natasha may be when she's traveling through Texas or Louisiana or Arkansas. So you won't be able to find really healthy restaurants and probably it's hard to find healthy grocery stores.
And it's not even that you can find grocery stores in these small towns. So before living in Texas, we lived in California. So when I had that territory, California, the West Coast territory, I didn't have as much issue finding, the nice hotels, the nice grocery stores that had good quality foods. But, now being in Texas and going to like the smaller little towns, there may be a grocery store, but you walk in and there's nothing organic and it's very tough to find healthy foods. And so researching is always been helpful for me. One thing that I can always find at a grocery store is shrimp cocktail. And I don't eat the cocktail sauce, just like so you have boiled shrimp. I'm not doing a lot of meats like chicken and beef and all of that right now. So like shrimp cocktail, you can find guacamole and you can at least find carrots and celery. And those are a big staple on my daily, I guess,
travel diet.
For sure, on the travel diet. Just easy grab and goes.
Okay, so let's recap. Give them the main points of traveling with working. So I think if we started with prior planning, planning out your hotels, planning out your restaurants, planning your food that you're going to take with you.
Yep.
So maybe let's mention 6-pack bags. Isn't that the little small one that we even have?
6-pack bags is actually designated for more of like fitness competition, and that's how I found out about 6-pack bags. But now that's the little cooler that I travel with that I put in my carry-on bag, and it's a 6-pack bag, and you can get bigger ones, smaller ones, huge ones even, and that's what I travel with now.
So traveling with something that you can put your foods in, plan those foods out in advance.
Yep.
Make sure you're staying hydrated. So you're taking things like your Hydro Flask. So here's a golden rule. This is what I teach all patients. Half of your body weight in ounces of water per day, minimum. So when you're traveling, you can see I've got my Nalgene water bottle over here, BPA free. Natasha has her work bottle, which is basically like a Hydro Flask. So it's stainless steel on the inside. So she likes to travel with that. Typically, if we don't have these by us, we will not drink enough water. So that's what keeps us on the straight and narrow when it comes to hydration. And also, you know how many ounces you're drinking, so you just go, okay, I need 3 bottles of these or 4 bottles of these, and it's an easy running tally that you can keep in your head.
For me, I think that's the one thing that I have a really hard time with is no matter what, when I'm traveling and on the go, I never drink enough water. So I always make sure I have that with me when I'm traveling. And most airports now have easy to, refill filtered water, at least the ones that I've been going to. So that's been helpful. So yeah, I mean, to wrap up that.
Well, one thing I don't think you mentioned, you love using essential oils when you're traveling.
I do.
So.
Well, first let's talk about my OCD.
So as soon as we get onto a plane, she's got her little wipes out and she's wiping everything down. And I used to make fun of her for doing this. Now I'm like, oh babe, can you please get my armrest, or can you get my headrest, or can you get the little food tray right in front of us? So yes, Natasha loves to travel with essential oils, and I used to just think, oh my God, here she goes again. But now it's to the point where I want her to travel with those essential oils.
I don't know. I deal with an autoimmune condition, and I can't get sick, and I travel a ton. So I'm in petri dishes pretty much every day on a daily. So anything that I can clean, I clean it with wipes, and I have my essential oils with me. Rental cars. The moment I get in a rental car, I wipe everything down. They don't clean those things. Planes. How often do you see them cleaning those seats or the tables? Never. So for me...
Maybe. If you're a flight attendant, don't get mad at her. But we don't see that part.
Okay. I disagree. But, so just, and then when I get into hotel rooms, the things that you touch that probably don't get as cleaned as often are like if you're watching TV, the remote, the phone. I clean off my phone, a few times a day. There's just steps that I never took. I used to work in a hospital, and I was never a big germaphobe. Now I am.
So, but the essential oils are fantastic if you go to an older hotel room, or you're visiting family that they may use those cheap Glade plugins. So teach them about the chemical toxicity from the Glade plugins, but you can use your essential oils to put a few drops in the shower. You can put them on the floor in the hotel, put them on your pillows.
That's how I use it. And actually, I hate the way that hotels smell. You go in there, it's kind of musty. So at home, we have diffusers in all the bedrooms. But in hotel rooms, all you do is you put a little bit of a few drops on like a tissue paper, and then I just stuff it in the AC unit, so then you get that wonderful aroma throughout the room.
Cheap diffuser.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that in our bedrooms?
No.
Okay. So she's always ordering more diffusers. Anyhow. So essential oils when you're traveling. Natasha loves using those. What else do you use your essential oils for?
We use essential oils for everything. So
I'm jumping the gun.
Okay, not yet. So we use essential oils for everything.
Deodorant.
So you gotta hold on. So you gotta realize one thing is that now that I have been exposed and I'm detoxing literally black mold from the inside of my body. So my toxicity threshold is to the max. So it cannot take any more toxins. So I have cleaned out the entire house. We are a complete green house. There's not one thing that's toxic in this house, meaning I don't clean with anything toxic. There's no flea and tick spray. We use all natural essential oils for the dogs, for ourselves, for our hair, for cleaning the house. So I've completely eliminated everything on that. And he was talking about this little bottle here. This is a homemade deodorant that that I made up. Actually, that was for him when he went camping.
Yep, took this on a 2-week backpacking trip through the Appalachian state, or basically the Appalachian Trail with my mother, and used this, and it worked like a charm because we were just rinsing off in rivers, and I brought 2 shirts and 2 pair of underwear for 2 weeks. This did a great job.
And I also make the little ones easy for me to travel with. So this is a great way to use essential oils. A lot of the deodorants that say that they're, all natural, there's sometimes just some junk in there. So just be aware of that.
And we're going to get into the products, like the personal products that we use. And I've already written a blog post. It's going to be in the description of the video tonight once we're done with the video. And we've got a link for everything that we're talking about as far as like beauty products, even these little guys where we buy them on Amazon. So all those links are there for you guys tonight. So Natasha's just going to briefly talk about it, but every product that she's currently using, I created a blog post and put all the links there for everybody, so you're welcome.
It's taken a little bit just to remove all of the things that are toxic. I mean, I'm just going to touch upon just some of like the hair products. For you women out there, for the good shampoo and conditioner and hair products to make your hair look great after blow drying it and everything, they're full of junk, and it took me a really long time to find a good shampoo and conditioner that was clean, and that didn't leave my hair feeling all gross. One thing that I have been using is actually an apple cider vinegar rinse, and I kind of alternate between the shampoos that we have listed, and I'll just go ahead and talk about it. It's this company called InnerSense. And this is just a few of the things that I use, but everything from this company is fantastic. They have hairspray, they have a leave-in conditioner, they have a volumizer, they have great shampoo and conditioners specifically for colored hair, curly hair, everything you can think of. So everything that I've tried from this company has been fantastic, and so I'm super happy with that. And let's see. Since we're talking about hair products, I've been, us women, on traveling, I need a good dry shampoo, and I've tried some of those other ones, and they've been terrible. But this one is called the Takasumi Detox, and they have it in different colors. This is a blonde. I actually should have gotten the brunette one, but this works fantastic. And and you can put this in the night before or the morning, and it works great. So, and that's in the blog post. And so, yeah, that's some of the hair products. And I wanted to, before we jump into more of the skin products and stuff, we had one question about setbacks.
Yeah, a patient was asking, what does Natasha do when she has a setback? And this ties in a little bit with today's post on Facebook, Instagram. I did a live video earlier this morning talking about battling infections. And the only thing we can do is keep battling. So when you have your setbacks, what do you do?
It sounds silly, but all you can do is push through. All you can do is just think. This is what I do. I think, okay, what did I not do right? What didn't I take? What did I do? Coffee enemas? Did I do sauna? I have a checklist of all the things that I need to do throughout the week for me to not have setbacks. And I am not the best patient. I don't always take everything that I'm supposed to. And Corey has been very supportive and lectures me quite a bit, but I need that. He keeps me accountable. And he, when I have a setback, it's most likely because I didn't do something that I needed to do. I was either lazy, tired, excuses after excuses, but really it's just when I have setbacks, it's either two reasons. Either I didn't do something that I needed to, or I need rest. So let me jump in with that one. So I think the biggest thing for autoimmune patients is planning recovery. It's just like when we were racing triathlon. Triathlon's 3 different disciplines, but the 4th discipline is recovery. And if you don't plan the recovery, then the body is not going to be able to heal. So I also consult with a lot of professional athletes, and I tell these fellows the same thing. It's like, you've got to plan that recovery. You've got to plan your downtime. So this has caused some heated conversations with Natasha and I when she's not following through with what she's supposed to do. And the biggest thing is sometimes her recovery, she would just want to come home and she was just done. She was spent. She's tired. She's been on a couple planes and she's been gone from home for a couple of days. So she wants to go home and rest. While the resting is good, you still have to implement those procedures that are helping the body to heal still. Talk about what some of those things are that I do.
So for Natasha, our biggest thing is we're still detoxifying our body. So we bought an infrared sauna. We bought a portable sauna. And that way we can travel with it. We took it to Colorado with us for the month of December. We just threw it in the back of our SUV. So her recovery, if you will, is still detoxing when she comes home. So for me, detoxing is sitting in the sauna. I think today you did 40 minutes. 40 minutes in the sauna. She still does coffee enemas to help detoxify your liver. But to me, those are recovery methods that you can do easily at home. Like sitting in a sauna, you can just relax. You can focus on breathing, your meditation breathing. You can listen to podcasts, which is what I typically do when I'm in the sauna. So those are two of her best recovery methods, and planning sleep. So occasionally I have to get on to her about going to bed on time and putting the phone down so she's not looking at the screens and getting rest. And I'm horrible about that because I like to stay up late at night working and watching YouTube videos and learning how to shoot cameras and all the fun stuff that I like to look at. And then I like to sleep in. But planning that sleep is one of the biggest things for the recovery. So you've got to plan that recovery in advance. So if you travel a lot with work, make sure you are planning it, because if you do not plan it, it's not going to happen. So yesterday, my whole day was scripted as far as what times I was doing things, and I was very, very productive. Today, I didn't follow my planning, and I felt like I didn't get anything accomplished. So put it into your schedule. Block that time out so that time is for you and that time is for your recovery. I know the biggest thing from an outsider looking in is sometimes we can get frustrated if we see that our loved ones aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you are a spouse watching this, you got to just be patient sometimes. And sometimes you do have to sit down and have that heart-to-heart and say, look, you got to get your butt in gear because you got to keep healing.
I think that's a really good point, because even when traveling, I really do try to, the moment I'm done with work, I either have my food already at the hotel, and I get to the hotel and I get in bed as soon as possible. And I do what are the things that I need to do to relax. Take my Epsom salt baths, put my essential oils. I try to just, get some food in me. Sometimes I do use melatonin every once in a while. I try not to be consistent with that, but with the melatonin, it really helps me just knock out and get a solid 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep. And I wake up at 6 in the morning feeling extremely refreshed. So yeah, taking advantage and getting off your phone, getting off your computer, being able to just turn everything off. So that's really important.
And sometimes she's in really neat cities, but she doesn't go out sightseeing when she's done with work. If it's late, she's getting into the hotel, she's eating, and she's getting to bed so she can get up and feel well.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is planning that recovery for those that are still healing, because your body needs more time to heal when you're fighting something. So you need more recovery than a normal individual is going to need. So plan that.
And I mean, for those, maybe your career is nothing like mine, but for somebody that gets on a plane and off of a plane, I mean, the stress of your body going up and down in a plane several times a day, a few times a week, you got to realize what that does to your body. One of the first things, or one of the few things that I do when I come home is I take off my shoes and I just go stand in the grass, because I've been on planes, I mean, not in nature, grounding. You have to ground yourself. You have to get rid of that negative energy that's everything that's been
the EMFs.
The EMFs. So there's just little tips that we do.
That gets into some of the energy work. We won't dive into that tonight.
We won't get there. You might think I'm a little crazy, but...
Yeah, but just realize that grounding yourself, putting your feet into the grass, into the dirt, that dumps EMFs, like EMFs from our cell phones, from our wireless internet, that's bombarding our bodies during the day and throughout the day. So, so the setbacks, it's really recovering, planning. And the biggest thing is you've got to keep on keeping on. Like, you've got to think bigger picture. You got to focus on the end goal, because you're going to have bad days. It's inevitable. The goal is to limit those bad days. So if we can do more to help our bodies heal, to make those bad days not as intense, that is the big goal. And I think in our eyes, we just had a pretty in-depth discussion about that the other night. So plan the recovery, plan the down days, but know that you're going to have bad days, and let your loved ones know. And that's, I think, also is the hardest part, is when you're struggling with an autoimmune condition, you may look good from the outside.
This is the hard part, for sure.
You may look good from the outside, and your friends and your family and even your doctors sometimes just don't get it. They don't understand what you're going through. Natasha's family is that way. I think my family...
Well, you look good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But, deep inside, you feel like crap and you want to vomit in their lap.
So when you have those bad days, I call them speed bumps, right?
Yeah.
We all get over speed bumps. Mountains are harder to get over. They take more climbing. You may feel like you're climbing a mountain in the beginning, because you are. But as you start to heal and feel better, just expect to have some of those speed bumps along the way. And they're small. Like, we get over speed bumps. Your speed bump may take you 3 days to get over. Natasha's may take her 2 days to get over. But eventually you're going to get eventually you're going to get over them. But don't lose track of the end goal, and the end goal is health, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to give up because you had some bad days or a bad week?
And so another thing that I think is really important is listen to your body. If I love working out. Do I work out? No.
Not like you used to.
No, not like I used to. My working out now is going to yoga, maybe rock climbing a little bit. But do I ride my bike like I used to? No, because I'm not there yet. I'm going to be there. But maybe for runners, don't go out and run 6 miles if your body hurts. I know it's good for your mental, for a mental state, but find something else for your mental state. Find something else that will feed that, because you're just going to do more damage to however you feel at that point. So really listen to your body. It's really important.
Okay. So I think for the members that were asking about what she does for her bad days and her recovery, I think it's really just staying on track. Don't lose focus. Keep doing what you're doing. You may have not done anything wrong. It may just be your body detoxing or just going through a bad spell. So keep focused on the goal. Continue to do what you're doing. Plan your recovery. But if it's lasting longer than a week and you're still struggling, then start to dig a little deeper. Okay? But also go through the checklist. Like Natasha's checklist is, did she eat within a couple hours? Was she exposed to anything? Did she get enough rest? Has she been doing like her Epsom salt baths when she's traveling? Do they have that with just straight CBD Epsom salt?
I don't know. I do take one thing that has helped a lot. Do you want to talk about that?
CBD.
Is that I'm doing CBD, just a CBD liquid in the morning, every single morning, and even sometimes twice a day I'll do it. And ever since I started doing the CBD in the morning, it reduces all the inflammation in my body. Like, not all of it, but it reduced it quite a bit, where I was like, I haven't felt this good in so long. And so that's something that has really helped me. So I try to be consistent with that. And if it is a bad day, maybe I have more inflammation, I can feel it in my fingers and, in different joints and whatnot, then I might up my CBD oil that day a little bit.
So we use CBD. I recommend that to patients just from an inflammatory standpoint of getting inflammation down. Some patients really like using CBD oils before they go to bed at night. So the brand that we really, really love is Charlotte's Web, a very clean company. Mm-hmm. Natasha actually went to high school with one of the head honchos over there at Charlotte's Web. So we're big fans of theirs, and that's what we're using. We're even giving it to our dog. One of our dogs had brain surgery.
He gets it every morning too.
Yeah, one of our dogs had brain surgery several months ago, and the CBD oil is actually what helped get him off of those heavy medications that he was on, and he gets it in the morning as well in his food.
Yeah.
Right. So, we covered what you do when you're traveling. We covered the setbacks. Now let's cover some of these products, because I know some of the members were wanting to know about beauty products.
Okay,
so I'm not so much into the beauty products, but Natasha's going to take it from here.
We'll do another live or even a bigger blog of some more information, but I'll touch on it a little bit. So what even Corey didn't even know today is that the FDA does not regulate what is put in cosmetic makeup or in the cosmetic companies and their products at all. So there are 50 ingredients. Who are you waving to?
Just all of our Instagram friends, because I feel like we're neglecting you because we're looking at this
Okay,
cool
see if
camera.
there's any questions before I go
Camera
on.
that we just got. You focus over here. I'll take care of our Instagram friends.
Okay. There are a total of 50 ingredients that are banned from the FDA to put in like cosmetic shampoo, conditioner, all of that. Just 50. So, that's just in the US. And in Europe, there are 1,400 ingredients that are banned.
So wait, 1,400 ingredients are banned in Europe.
No, yeah, 1,400 are banned in Europe.
But only 50 are banned in the United States.
Yeah.
So that was we were rehearsing what she was going to talk about tonight, and she mentioned that, and that blew my mind. That just boggled me.
So
that's our great United States.
I mean, it's mind-boggling to me because all of us women pay all this money for this really nice, expensive makeup, but it's just junk. You're putting toxins. You're paying a lot of money for toxins. It's just mind-boggling. Anyway, and the last time the FDA made a law regarding ingredients was in 1938.
I would think that we've learned a lot more about toxins since 1938. So I would think that probably needs to be revisited because there's probably a ton of crap that you women have been absorbing in your pores.
Yeah.
And maybe some men, but women have been absorbing in their pores that's maybe contributing, triggering, driving disease, autoimmune condition, cancer. For
sure. I mean, it can cause inflammation. It can cause your hair to fall out. I mean, all of that. So really, we need to pay attention to everything that you're putting on your body, even your laundry soap. What you're putting in your laundry soap, or what you're putting in your washer machine.
Which I didn't put that on our blog, but we're using Thieves. So
That's right.
For our laundry soap, we're using Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
We're using that for our hand soap.
And
if you forget and you run out of bath soap, you can use the Thieves hand soap.
I'm not even going to tell that story.
Tried it out. It works. It works. It doesn't foam up nearly as well, but
I got in the shower yesterday, and I saw that there was the Thieves kitchen hand soap, and I thought, oh, maybe he bathed the dogs in it or something, and he was like, oh no, we ran out of bath soap. I'm not using that.
She didn't Instacart early enough. So keep going.
Okay. So really, I mean, you just have to pay attention to all of the things that you're putting on your body. There's an app called Think Dirty, and you can take a picture of it or, type in whatever product it is, and it can tell you, it gives you on a chart from 0 to 10, 0 being the cleanest and 10 being the dirtiest, and it tells you. And then there's also another app. I don't have the name. I just downloaded it, but you can type in the ingredient name, because there's a lot of those that I can't even pronounce and I don't even know what they are, and it tells you what it is. Where if it's toxic and whatnot. So I'll find that and I'll post it for you guys. So a few things that I just watch out for. There's a huge laundry list of things. And so when I do buy...
You mean ingredients?
And yeah, a laundry list of ingredients that you don't want to be in your products. And just a few things that I just, look out for from the first is just parabens, sulfates, mineral oil, aluminum chloride hexadrate. And that's basically... that's mainly in deodorants, so really look out for that. Fragrance. So perfumes. All of those are mainly just fragrance. They're not natural essential oils. So what fragrance is just a way for these companies to put a blanket over crap that they don't want to put in the ingredients.
You mean so when it's labeled fragrance, that's their way of not having to list what what those
Exactly.
ingredients really are. So it's what their way of hiding maybe some toxic.
So if anything ever
Chemicals.
says fragrance, I don't purchase it. If
Even-
it says essential oil or it gives you like olive leaf extract, then you know it's just olive leaf extract. There's nothing that's added.
Okay. So the big ones were parabens, sulfates,
Mineral oil.
mineral oil. Why not mineral oil? From a guy's standpoint, I don't know why not mineral oil.
I don't really remember why, but it's just junk.
Okay, so it's junk. So mineral oil, what else?
Mineral oil,
The aluminum chloride.
fragrance, and then formaldehyde. So formaldehyde
Wait a
is,
second. Formaldehyde is what they embalm bodies with. Your women, you're putting this on your skin?
oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
So formaldehyde is in all of the nail polish and a lot of products like that. So there is formaldehyde-free nail polish. So I have a quick little story on that. This was when I was going through the 4-month detox, and my family, all the girls were like, let's go get our nails done. And I'm already I call myself high maintenance in terms of the places that I can eat, the food that I can eat, you know, the things that can touch my skin. And so I just tried to be really easygoing. And so they're like, oh, let's go get our nails done. And I didn't want to say, oh, I can only go to this organic, all natural, really expensive salon. So I just kept quiet and I said, okay, wherever you want to go, let's go. So we went and we all got our nails done, and I felt like junk for 3 days. I walked out of there with a migraine headache, feeling awful. I felt nauseous. And so now I don't go into those nail salons any longer. And I thought, oh, I can handle it. It's just a little bit of toxins. I can do it.
Okay, so getting back to the formaldehyde, this is still boggling my mind. What is that in?
Nail polish and shampoos and conditioners. Like, you know that the straightening, the big Brazilian blowout thing, that's formaldehyde that they're putting on the woman's hair to straighten it.
Okay, so no more formaldehyde.
No.
So when it comes to nail salons, you've got to find an organic nail salon. Is that
All
what you're
natural.
saying?
Yeah, there's specific nail salons that use formaldehyde-free products.
All right.
So look for those. If not, then just do it at home. Do it yourself, because that's what I do now.
Okay. Very cool. I learned something tonight as well. So we've got a few more minutes. We got about 3.5 more minutes. Let's go ahead and start wrapping some of this up. So let's finish your products. What else do you have over here?
Okay.
Remember, these are all. There's going to be a link in the description of the video. They are on our blog, so you can go to the blog. You can find them on Amazon. The ones that I could not find on Amazon for you, I did put a link to their website. So you've got it all right there for you.
So the blog that we kind of put together is just the basics. So the basics, shampoo and conditioner. I mean, I'm pretty consistent with all of the shampoo and conditioner, but women, we can buy makeup for days. But that's just the basics of the makeup, and I want to share with you.
And the basics are expensive. Oh my gosh, women, I can't believe you spend this much money on products. Us men are so lucky.
He wasn't supposed to see the prices.
Yeah, I found out the prices tonight.
So one of the companies that I love, and I found this about 3 years ago, it's called Odacity. And the woman that started this was she had cancer. And so she wasn't able to have anything toxic. Again, you know, her toxicity levels were too high. And anyway, she was battling a lot of things. And so she developed a company called Odacity. And it's all natural, and anything from that company is fantastic. This is the Autumn on the World. It is a 15% like vitamin C serum, and I love it. So,
if I must, this thing's $149.
but I've had it.
But
I've had it for 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, and I still have some in there.
okay, so I saw the price and I flipped out. And she's like, "But I've had it
You use
forever."
1 drop a night. That's it. So,
Okay.
Okay. So I use a few of the products from Odacity. So look on the blog for everything else that I use. And so I have been in search for a good foundation that has some good coverage, that doesn't look like I'm, going on a runway and it's super thick. So this company called Crunchy, and it's a perfect name. Anyway, this one, the one that I use is 2.5. That's the color. It's on a number scale. Is a 2.5, and I use it with the primer, and it makes it so much easier. So if you buy it with the primer, and I use the Crunchy brush as well. So it's just a really dense brush, but this is a must. Sunscreen. I have 3 other sunscreens that I put on the blog. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the one that I use for just like all over the body that's non-toxic to me and non-toxic to the ocean or wherever you're swimming, it's called 100% Pure, and it's a SPF 30, and it's called Yerba Mate Mist, and it's awesome. Anyway, so they have this.
And it's also, you said it doesn't kill the coral reefs.
Yeah.
It's
not toxic.
It's environmental friendly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because you go to the beach or you go to the pool and you see all those people spraying all the sunscreen on, then they hop into the water, then you see it like floating that film on the surface of the water. So
I don't know. I'm basically from Mexico, so we're used to swimming in the ocean, and now all the coral's dead, and you wonder why, because it's all the stuff we're putting on our bodies, all the junk. So, okay. But head over to the blog. There's a lot more products that we wrote, and I didn't want to go through every single one and bore you, but everything is there that I use currently. And
so if you want a more detailed webinar on that, then let us know, because Natasha...
I'll do that on my own.
Natasha was freaking out earlier because she's like, there's just too much to do, and I just can't put it all in one webinar. And
he doesn't understand. Us women have lots of products.
So if you want a more in-depth webinar where Natasha's just talking about the products, please let us know, and she'll get that put together for you. And I will not be involved in that one. That's going to be all for you and you viewers. So yeah, so the foundation products, the basic products that Natasha uses, they are on the blog.
Foundation, brow, blush, bronzer. I think that's it. Really.
I did put on there what I use to shave. I know for patients, you're probably not used to seeing this, but I still have to keep this relatively looking good. So I did put our shaving cream on there. We did put our toothpaste on there. That was actually a topic on our thyroid Facebook group today. So that came up actually twice today. The deodorant is what Tasha makes, so the ingredients are there. Mm-hmm. So you can make your own. You've got the link to the little rollers that we use.
If you're sensitive to deodorant, and a lot of the recipes, and he's very sensitive, a lot of the recipes have baking soda in them, and that will make you irritated. So whatever recipe, if you don't like mine, custom it to whatever scent you like, but just if you go look at other recipes, just don't do it with the baking soda, because if you have sensitive skin, you'll get irritated.
And from just the male standpoint of the deodorants, I've tried every natural deodorant, and they would all still give me rashes. Actually, there's one that's done a little decent job, but it'll still give me a rash. The essential oils without the baking soda do not irritate me, so that has been fantastic. One thing that did happen is going through the Candida protocol. As the Candida was being killed off, it was actually coming out of my skin, and for me, it was hitting me in the armpit. So the deodorant with the Candida was just a nightmare. So all of that's on the blog. If you want more information, let us know. Comment below in the YouTube video. You can ask us to shoot more webinars, whatever it is that you want us to film. If you enjoyed this, just let us know. Comment, subscribe, share, and we look forward to doing this again soon. We're testing out some new equipment tonight, so if you like the audio, if you like the visual, let us know. If there's something you didn't like, let us know that as well.
Thank you so much for joining.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time around.